Most of Lyle's lines aren't exactly audio provoking.
But just in case it does.
More like we have to kind of think. There's other comedians who are a lot more. Lyle, you just kind of listen to and nod and.
I'll have to write that down. Audio provoking. Oh, well, I guess let's get started. Yeah, I know that I have met people who have said off-color things about my sets. One of them called it the most awkward TED Talk they've ever heard. And then and my response was, all right, I'll do a knock-knock joke. Knock-knock, who's there? I who? I don't do requests. I know knock-knock jokes are usually bottom of the barrel as well. I guess almost as bad as dick jokes when it comes to comedians. But now for the regularly scheduled ones. I'm still surprised on where I can hear people telling jokes. I, like many people, can be a little lazy and will just watch something because it's on after what I wanted to watch. They call that a good lead-in. In my case, that's watching the Sunday night 10 o'clock news on WCCO, and then after it, Joel Osteen, the preacher, is on. And he will say, I like to start off with something funny, but I know that this week, what really I agreed with was a line that was close to what I once said about my own life. He said that we live in a microwave society but have a crock-pot God. And I was the type that said, I am a crock-pot living in a world of microwave ovens. And a fellow comic liked hearing that. He said he wanted to use that line. And I said, give me credit. So then he put it on Facebook and gave me credit. So it's like, cool. So I like knowing that other people can think the same way. Kind of like I saw that event honoring former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords after she was shot. And the line that President Obama said, and I had said even before I heard him say it, which was we should care more about what unites us, not what divides us. I still feel that way. But yeah, good luck on that. Partisan politics. George Washington warned us about the perils of that, and nobody was listening then or now. So there was that. I know some of these I've been meaning to do for a while. I just wrote them down and say, I need to do them, so here they are. I still see weird things while I'm doing walks. I've been doing walks nearly every day since March, and no surprise, I've been losing weight. I've been wanting to do something if I can't go to the bars. Yeah, some of the weird things I see in here would include there's a plaza near me, and I saw a guitar player in that plaza when it was dark and deserted. And it's like, well, I've heard of busking or street performing before, but I thought the point was to do it for some type of crowd, not just yourself. And then I saw another street performer that was at a traffic light, and it's like, well, yeah, I think I would like seeing that more often instead of just somebody holding up a sign that says, please give me money. I mean, I like street performers wherever I go, like outside a sports venue. And I know that one time I remember being at a baseball game in St. Louis, and I put a few coins in his guitar case, and then he pointed his instrument in my way to acknowledge me. I think he was playing a trombone or trumpet or something like that. So it's like, cool, it's nice to get acknowledged. And now I'm trying to remember what song he played. I think he was playing a few TV theme songs from the 60s. He definitely wasn't playing Lady Gaga. I know that's how I was having fun with one street performer, asking him if he knew any Lady Gaga. Before Star is Born, I'm thinking not likely that a street performer would be doing Lady Gaga, but who knows? Well, I know that I still like to study the craft of stand-up, but I don't spend a lot of time watching others because I tend to do better by doing it myself. Where I know I went through phases with performing then I finally got to the point where I said, just watching others supporting friends isn't good enough anymore. I wasn't getting better at a comic. But I will pay attention at times when I see or hear stand-up that isn't mine. Like in the break room at work at my new job, like, yeah, that sounds like stand-up comedy, but it's not in English. And then I got to look at his phone, camera phone, and it's like, oh, yeah, in Spanish, but the cadence was still there, kind of like what Ski said one time about somebody telling a joke when he was in China. Like, yeah, he had a microphone, he had a good outfit on. Yeah, I could hear people laughing, even though I don't know Spanish to know what the joke was. So it's like, well, my head is off him that he's they're doing stand-up. And I know in the same plaza that I saw the street performer when it was dark and deserted, when the sun was up and the liquor store was open, I heard one woman say to another, you shouldn't be drinking if you're dizzy. One woman was helping the other with walking, I guess, into the liquor store. Yeah, I know Bill Cosby had that show called Kids Say the Darndest Things. Sometimes adults say the darndest things as well. Yeah, I even saw a Bill Cosby comedy movie when I was in high school, but that's probably not part of curriculums now. But we all know why. Yeah. And then in my neighborhood, there's plenty of kids. And this weekend, I saw some, I guess, playing hide and seek, but it's like, you should try a little harder, is what I'm thinking, although I didn't verbalize that, because I saw what bench they went to hide behind. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure that who they were trying to hide from noticed that as well. I guess they'll learn. I know that's what I've said before about kids and teenagers, is if they haven't learned yet, they will. It's just a question of what gets them to learning, and hopefully, in the case of what I said about being found guilty by association, that they don't have to go to jail to learn it, but well, if they do, they do. But yeah, playing hide and seek, that's a kid's game, so no, I mean, learning math is not quite the same as guilty by association. Oh, I had the day off for a bank holiday, Columbus Day, or whatever you call it in your locality. And I know that it was a day that really meant nothing to me. But it's like, well, if it's now a paid day off from work, it's like, yeah, now it does mean something. So it's like, but at the same time, it's tough for me to have a Monday off because it's like, hey, I should be at work. And you know what? I did a little better once I said, all right, let's make a list and get all these things done. And it's like, good, I've got something to do. I feel better now because I just hate being idle, and I hate my car's engine being idle. I need to perform. I need to do something. One of the things I did was I said I need to read the paper, or I like getting Friday papers to read about movies. And I was a little bit behind, like a month behind, and it's like, oh, I guess they are releasing movies in theaters. And it's like, yeah, I like reading about some of these. I know some theaters are just putting out old movies because they just want people to come, period. It's like, no, I'm not going to see old movies, not if ones I already have on video that I watch at home. So I went to Egan this afternoon and saw On the Rocks starring Bill Murray. And it's like, yeah, I liked reading the review about that. I mean, it's a lot of Bill Murray goofing off, but for Bill Murray fans, hey, it works. So it's like, yeah, I'm there. And then, yeah, seeing things like prowling the streets of Manhattan in a classic, probably foreign convertible that was backfiring. It's like, yeah, that's vintage Bill Murray. And I know I'm also going to remember it because, well, this is the Egan movie theater. It was closed for a while, and their plans were to reopen the theater under new ownership and then have an axe throwing place on that site as well. And it's like, yeah, how many other places can you do that? Probably not too many. And even in the movie theater screen I was in, they were advertising the axe throwing place. So it's like, oh, well, the curiosity might get the better of me eventually, but I'm not quite there yet on wanting to throw axes as a sport. I'm sure there's money involved on doing that, and probably having to sign a waiver as well. Oh, and it was active this weekend as well. Although because of the holiday, I didn't want to be late on returning a movie, so I only did the Redbox movie, which was Murder on the Orient Express. And it's the first time I saw a movie based on the Agatha Christie novel. I hadn't read any of her books either, but it's like, well, the movie kept my attention even though I was tired, so and it was almost 2 hours long. This is the one from 3 years ago, not 1974. So it's like, yeah, a pretty good movie. So I'm sure that her books are pretty good too. In fact, even one of the special features said it's now shorthand calling a thriller an Agatha Christie because she was known for writing those types of books. And hey, good cast all around. That was another reason for me wanting to see it. I also went to the Minnesota History Center for the first time since it reopened the first of the month and saw the exhibit about the music venue known as First Avenue. And as usual, I learned something in museums. Even as a history major, I mean, hey, that's why I go. I want to learn something, and I want to be entertained as well. And I ended up learning about a disturbing song by Husker Du called Diane about a girl that was raped and murdered. And it's like, well, I guess that has been covered in music before, so it shouldn't be shocking at all. But it's like, wow, they actually wrote a song about that. Okay. And I like hearing about how First Avenue, that venue had some names before that. It's like, oh, it makes sense. I just wasn't living in Minnesota then at the time to know. But it's nice that they've made it through 50 years, a lot of ups and downs. And I've seen 2 concerts there. It was a nice reminder of that. I just don't go very often because it's a small venue and sells out kind of quick. So didn't get any souvenirs there, but I'm trying to cut back on spending as much as possible, especially when it can add up. It's like, well, can I justify buying some of these things? And especially if it's a shirt when I already got a lot of them. A lady friend said, yeah, her thing is shoes, mine is shirts. Yeah, I've got a lot of t-shirts. I mean, I go 2 months not wear the same one twice. Yeah, that's how many I've got. Well, I guess that'll do it for me. Thank you. It's been great.
Well, I'll have all kinds of notes.
People actually listen to your stories.
Cool. Notes?
First Avenue, I went and saw They Might Be Giants there. I actually saw a concert at First Avenue. I love They Might Be Giants. They did a great job there.
Yeah, I know they were a popular band at college when I was at college in the 90s. I know there were a few other alternative bands that got their name from a movie just like they did, like Babes in Toyland.
The next is the idea of an axe throwing contest. As long as they don't put the axe throwing range right up against the back of the screen, so if somebody misses.
Well, the thing about the axe throwing place was they had a lot of fencing up, so it reminded me of what I've seen about firing ranges for cops.
Just got to make sure everything's safe there. And last, playing music is nice. I mean, it's nice to busk for music and get money or recognition from it, or even just the joy of people stopping and listening and being entranced with your music, or at least less bored with your music. That's all wonderful. But I think a lot of musicians probably spend more time playing for the joy of playing and for the sound it creates. I know I would go up when I was stationed in Monterey, California. There was the Presidio was right next to this hill, and there were times where it would be beautiful, sunny, and warm, and all of a sudden this bank of fog would roll over the top of the hill and just at like a slow walking pace crawl down the hill until everything was completely absorbed in this fog. And if I was out walking in those woods, which I love to do, it was a great little area, beautiful, I would simply stop and sing at the oncoming fog. And as it rolled over me, everything would change. All the acoustics of what I was singing would change. And just the ambiance, the drama of singing in a fog cloud in what had 3 seconds earlier been this bright sunny day and was now an obscure cold day was amazing. That's when you start singing the sad songs and they just feel so much more powerful. I could totally see this guy sitting in a city square in a plaza someplace, playing by himself in the middle of the night with nobody around, and that just being awesome for the sake of itself, not needing anything else, purely the joy of the acoustics of the place and the quiet of some place that's not supposed to be quiet. Another round of applause for Lyle Larue. I thought you guys should know it. My parents named me after my older brother and before my younger brother. And now we bring up our final performer for the evening. Put your hands together for the amazing Alex Winston. Alex, oh my God.
Hello, everybody. After a little hiatus from this open mic, I decided to bring it back, and I'm going to do an a cappella of a classic song. I'm going to do Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. So if I can find my, there we go. I heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah. 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 Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. 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 Well, baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew ya. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch. And love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Well, maybe there's a God above, but all I ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. And it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.